So much of our days is just filled with friction. So much of our days are just filled with friction, with divide, with tension. And then you have the other side of the spectrum where so many people are feeling joy and happiness and growing and waking up. And if you haven't noticed yet, you're on a walk with me. And I thought today we'd just go on a walk. I am in Los Angeles, California. It is very loud because it's a big city. And there's lots of people doing lots of different things. And it's always interesting to me as I walk around that so many people have so many different stories. Everybody's life is different. With our topic of the month, we've been exploring the idea of self-acceptance. And I thought I'd just ramble on today and talk to you about what I feel self-acceptance is and why I feel it's really important to accept ourselves. We all are in this journey. We all define it differently. We all go about our day-to-day differently. We all have these different stories to tell, and we all have our hardships. To say that no one has hardships, to say someone is living a perfect life, even though in comparison it can sometimes seem that somebody else is living the life you hope to live or would want to live. The truth is we don't know the whole story, and everybody faces a challenge now and again. Everybody's challenges are different, no worse, no better, in a way that I mean that it all is about on how we approach it, the decisions we make through it, and how we handle these different hardships. When we come to accept ourselves more, we inevitably also find a peace within our day-to-day lives. Because when we don't have that self-acceptance, it just manifests and it creates this energy within our lives that's always in lack. We're always comparing. We're always saying, I wish I. We're always saying, well, why me? Or who are they? And must be nice to be them. And so our entire perspective on our own lives completely changes. But what I've noticed throughout my life is the people that have the most acceptance are the people who are willing to also help the most and give the most and create change and create an impact and really have this peace within their lives, even though they might be facing the most dire circumstances. It's finding this resolve within who we are and our values and our morals, and to somewhat humble ourselves in the willingness and realizing that every day we're growing. Every moment we have a choice. And within that, it becomes less about everything else and everyone else and more about how we can just create an awesome life. So when you hear all that, what do you think? When you hear the wind in my ears as I walk throughout the city, what do you think? Where are you? Where do you live? Do you take walks? Do you exercise? Do you choose to do these things that will better your life? Now, I'm not a nutritional coach, nor am I like a trainer, but I do know that there is a recipe we can all create in bettering our lives. It's just the willingness to do so. Last week we talked about self-acceptance and the ability of not just embracing the good, but also embracing what could be perceived as the negative, our shortcomings, the things that we need to work on, the mistakes we might consistently make, the ones we haven't learned from, and the ones we will learn from, the ones we may need to repeat a few times to understand, and the ones that may have not come up in our lives quite yet. But as long as you find yourself doing the best you can, as long as you find yourself making those difficult choices to face your truth and to face and the inner desire for growth and betterment, you will find that your days will also get better and better. I've met many walks of life, and one common core in most people who you would perceive as happy, who would tell you they are happy, and the ones that are most at peace and really enjoy their lives are all over the map. The only way someone might enjoy their life is if they're rich and if they're famous and they have all these things and they can do whatever they want. And that's not necessarily the case. Many people can find enjoyment and fulfillment in many different things. What makes your happiness, true happiness, not what someone else defines as happiness, but what you define as happiness? And here's the kicker. The happiness is already within you. You probably don't realize it. You probably heard it. You probably thought, well, it's a little far-fetched. I don't feel so happy right now. You might be going through a really hard time and saying, well, I can't choose happiness right now. Life feels tough. The world feels in peril. Everything just keeps falling apart. Well, even within the chaos, you still can choose happiness. You can still choose betterment. You can still take what feels like a grain of salt and use that as energy to continue moving forward and to continue pushing through. But again, that all comes with your self-acceptance, because again, that falls within your values. What is the value that you're seeking that allows you to believe that you can? Because if you believe you can, or you believe you can't, you're right. So part of the reason I took you on a walk with me today is because it's life. Life is loud. It's windy. There's cars. There's trains. There's people. There's gardeners. There's stories happening all around you. And if we allow those things to distract us from our self-worth, from our self-respect, to allow other things and other means and systems and societal norms to constantly define our worth, we will be in a vicious cycle of hardship. We will be in a vicious cycle of sadness, of depression. And I encourage you to really dive as deep as you possibly can to find the self-acceptance within yourself, to realize that the good-natured person, the good intents are always there. It's just being able to choose them within each and every moment and each and every day. I'm not saying that it's easy. I'm not saying that you're not going to have challenges, and I'm not saying that you're not going to make mistakes. But the difference between most people who have the peace you might be seeking is that they continue to choose the best way possible. They continue to accept themselves, to find the clarity, to find the happiness, to find the peace and resolve with who they are, what they are, and how they're going to live their life day to day. When you find self-acceptance, the world will be a much better place. The division will stop. The judgments will stop. And instead of pushing each other down, we'll be lifting each other up. The question is, what kind of world do you want to live in? What do you want for yourself? What do you want for your family? What do you want for your children? What do you want for the future of everyone's life? Because we all play a part in that. We all create this ripple effect of how the world is turning day in and day out. So today, as I walk with you and I ramble on and I take in all these different things on my walk, so many different lives, some having greater hardship than others, myself going through a really great hardship as we speak, I still choose to be here. I still choose to know that I want to be a reminder that you are not alone. I want to be a reminder that you are supported. I want to be a reminder that there is good in the world as hard as it may seem. And there is always a choice towards betterment. So today and every single day, keep fighting the good fight.
It's a